What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. Okay. All right. So today's topic is going to be another interesting one. It's going to be a reaction video. This time, the reaction video is courtesy of the brother Cheesa Zed. So shout out to him. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to him. He does good work, just like most of the content creators that I watch daily and support. So again, Cheesa Zed, shout out to him. This reaction video is courtesy of a recent video that he did discussing marriage and fair usage for the video, fair usage. So before we get into the video, I just want to preface this by saying a couple of things. It seems like the majority of the time that goes by, it seems like the meaning of marriage is slowly but surely becoming a thing of the past. Either you have some people who still believe in the sanctity of marriage, like me, because I do want to get married again. You have others who have a warped view of marriage. You know, others don't have no view of marriage at all, or they would prefer not to be married, which is fine. But when you're in the middle, people who have a warped way of viewing marriage, especially when it comes to viewing marriage in a way that it's not supposed to be, or should I say in a way that marriage was not intended to be, that's going to prompt discussions, it's going to prompt questions. And then in present day 2024, I'm just like, man, you know, what happened here? And I think I know what happened. Social media and reality TV. I mean, you can't tell me no different, because without the presence of social media and without the glorification and support and consumption of reality TV, we probably wouldn't even be having this discussion right now. We'll probably be talking about marriage still, but in a different aspect, if you will. So we're going to get into this video, and I want to preface this in a second term. Okay, so this video, like I said, it's an interesting one, and I'm going to be stopping it a couple of times. So two things: trigger alert. The guests, specifically the two women, they're going to say like, and I feel like constantly. And like I said before, you know, it's something that we all do, but when it's almost like every other word that comes out your mouth is like, I feel like this, like that. And yes, I'm emphasizing the K from a sarcastic point and from an annoyance point, because it just really gets under my skin. And you know, I was about to say like right there, and I'm trying to, you know, get away from that too, but it's kind of difficult because you hear it every day. But in this video, yeah, it's going to be present. Now, I'm not going to stop each time they do that, but I just want to preface it by saying that it's a lot of that in this video. And then secondly, ladies, let me talk to you briefly. I love to see a woman sitting with her legs crossed. It brings a sense of elegance, a sense of style, and as well as a showcase of respect, you know, for oneself and for other people. And it's also real feminine and real ladylike. So I like it when a woman is sitting with her legs crossed. But what drives me crazy, and you're going to see a little bit of it in this video, is, you know, and fellas, we've seen it, and I think other ladies have seen it too, when you got ladies who sit with their legs crossed, and either they're moving their leg in and out, or they're moving their foot around or something like that. Oh, that drives me crazy. I don't know what it is, but we're going to see that a little bit in this video. And I'm just like, why? Please stop it, you know. So, so let me get to it, y'all. So again, shout out to Cheesa Zed, fair usage for the video. And again, go follow him if you haven't done so already. But we're going to take a look at this one. And the title of his video, as you can see, is I Want Big Wedding and Money. Modern Woman Keeps It Real, the coffee pot. So let's go ahead and get started.
Married for 5 years.
Still married.
Divorce is extremely hard. Like the paper process of that shit is so annoying. And I did say, like, I do want to get married again, but I also would not like to legally get married. Like, I mean, but of course, like, I would have everything in place, like in his will. Like, if he dies, it's me.
She's like, I'll do the same thing you're doing, girl, but if he dies, I get everything, but I don't want to be married. And she's already been married, divorced. She's divorced. Be safe, man. Be safe.
Amen.
Joseph, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Cheesa Zed.
Drink the coffee. It'll make you feel better.
Woman says, I'm not signing no prenup. I just want a big wedding and don't want to sign any papers, in fact, at all. This video comes to us from KEB Corporation. Check them out on YouTube. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
Would you be willing to sign a prenup when you get married? Okay, this might sound crazy, but like, I don't want to be married legally. I just want a wedding, like the big wedding.
Let me stop right there. Okay. You don't want to be married legally. You just want the big wedding. Okay. In what universe does this make sense? Because as we all know, and I'm sure she knows, marriage goes through the state. Okay. Now, there's all sorts of legal things that go into that. You just can't pop up and say, I'm married. It has to be, the normal process. You do your normal things that leads into the wedding, and then you go from there, but specifically, you have to be declared husband and wife for it to be acknowledged. You can say you're a wife all day, but are you legally one? No. So I don't get what she's saying. And for her to try to make sense of it, it's just so mind-boggling. You want to be married. You don't want to be legally married. You just want to have the big wedding. Tell me where any of that makes sense. Like, what is it with our sisters and this whole notion of the experience? The experience trumps everything else. You don't care about what comes after that. You barely cares about what's happening in the moment. It's all about this vibe, this experience. Like, what is it? Oh, I know what it is. The social media aspect and reality TV. And I'm telling y'all, this social media thing, it has women and their mind frames just so warped, and it's like it's going to take some time to rework that and bring people back to reality. I mean, it's like we're in a twilight zone. Sheesh.
No, that's smart as hell.
Like,
no, it sounds crazy.
I don't. If that makes sense, like,
Travis, feel you.
I just want to like have the experience, like the wedding, the big wedding, but I don't want to sign no papers saying that we married, because for one, I don't want to go through the divorce process. Two, I'm not signing no prenup. And if like my money is my money and your money is your money, so like it shouldn't be, I don't want to have it. I don't want like the courts to be involved.
No, it doesn't make sense. Okay. Oh my God, it's so much wrong with this. Now, for starters, you see the smile on her face. You see the look, she mean what the hell she's saying. This ain't no slip of the lip. She know what she's saying, so, I mean, it's obvious. Then the look of entitlement, like, this is what I want, and either you provide this for me or you don't, and it's, oh my God. And then why are you looking at it from this preemptive divorce lens? Like, let me tell you something, and I think brother Shiza Zed is going to comment on this towards the end. It's like, why are you going into something like this, which is supposed to be a lifetime thing, a lifetime commitment? Why are you going into this thing already talking about or even thinking about divorce? I mean, pardon me, y'all, but I'm of the impression that, we've been with each other for a while. We want to take this important step in our lives for both of us, especially if we have kids. So everything is real, including the love and everything else like that. So we're going to be 10 toes down with each other. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm going to be a good husband. You're going to be a good wife. Therefore, we're going to make this work to the best of our abilities. However, we know that things happen. However, one of our main things should be divorce should be an absolute last resort, as that's basically saying there's nothing else. We've tried everything. We've tried counseling. We tried, to talk about it. We tried to do different things. We've tried therapy. We've tried everything, No, we're not going to try no separation. We're not trying no space. No, we're not trying no seeing other people. No, we're not doing that. We're not sleeping in separate bedrooms. You're not staying at your mom's house. I'm not staying at my mom's house. You're not going to get a hotel. We're not doing separate rooms and all that. No, we're going to make this work. We're going to do what two married people are supposed to do. That's what I thought that marriage was, and again, like I said, it seems like we're moving past that and moving to another phase of it. I mean, Is the purpose now of getting married is to immediately get to the divorce with one person taking everything that the other person has, which usually is the case of the woman taking half or all of the man's things, and him having to start from the ground up? Is that the era that we're in now? The divorce is more celebrated and more anticipated than the actual marriage is? Is that where we are? I mean, it's crazy. And like I said, this sister right here, bless her heart, she meant what the hell she said. You know, there was no slip of the lip. She was smiling the whole time. She was proper with it, along with the likes. You got to throw those in there, don't we? And just this sense of entitlement, like, this is what I want, and you're either going to provide for me or you're not. Just, oh my God, man. Let's continue.
That makes sense.
Hear me out. 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 How many divorced women who wanted exactly this, right? Don't want the marriage on paper. I just want the big wedding. I just want the photos. I just want the experience of a nice big wedding. How many divorced women should have just kept it this real, but instead lied and said, I actually do want a marriage. And when they finally realized what a marriage was, decided to divorce their husband and break up a family, and could have saved a man who's in his right mind listening to a woman like this and thinking, okay, red flag. Could have saved that man a headache. You feel me? Probably a lot. Probably a lot. A lot of women need to keep it real like this. And if you hear this, gentleman, she's being honest. She just wants a wedding. She just wants the party. That's all she wants. No idea what it takes to be married. Nothing at all. Doesn't want to deal with the work that comes with it. And I know she talked about how she doesn't want to, sign papers legally. And we'll talk about that more later. Let's keep listening.
Okay. All right, so let me stop it right there. So, okay, we go back to the whole thing about the experience. Like, again, is that the most important thing here? It's not being a wife, and it's not putting in the work with the person who's supposed to be your lifetime partner. So we're operating from the sense that, okay, I just want the photo ops. I just want this to go on Instagram. I want this to go on Facebook. I want this to go on Twitter. I want to get touched up. I want my hair done. I want my makeup done. I want to get the best dress. I want to get the best shoes. I want to go to the biggest venue. You want to do all of that just for the experience alone, but you don't want to do the real work afterwards, which is being a wife. You don't want to do any of that. So you want to have it easy. Is that what we're saying here? I mean, it makes no sense to me. And I'm thinking like, okay, girl, if you want to do all that, just do all of that elaborate stuff, but don't try to dress it up as if it's a wedding or try to draw a man into it, because you're going to want the man to pay the majority of it. So why don't you do all of that just without the benefits of saying that this is a marriage or this is a wedding or something like that? Do that. You can enjoy all of the fruits of that, if you will, without the sanctity of marriage. I mean, that's what I would think. But, in a situation like this, we're not speaking logic here. We're speaking from a purely feelings-driven, selfish, entitled standpoint. That's exactly what we're getting here. So let's continue with this mess.
That makes sense. I'm gonna be able to relate to you so hard. Because I was married for 5 years.
Still married.
Divorce is extremely, extremely hard. Like the paper process of that shit is so annoying. And I did say, like, I do want to get married again, but I also would not like to legally get married. Right. Like, I mean, but of course, like, I would have everything in place, like in his will. Like, if he dies, it's me. But
what?
Right on. That's the same thing I said when I first seen this. So when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And no self-respecting man would even bother to go near a woman like this. Now the fact that she was married before, that's not the issue. But y'all heard what she just said. So that right there, you're looking at it from a transactional standpoint. So you got the sister in the middle who just wants the experience, and then you got this sister who just commented, basically looking at it, like I said, a transaction. So if he passes, or if there's a divorce, or whatever the case may be, you want to benefit financially. You want to make sure that you're taken care of. Never mind what the man is going through. Never mind the feelings. And God only knows what the situation would be if kids were involved. But you see, that's how it is. When you come from this level of entitlement, that's exactly what you get. You get comments like that. And we supposed to just be okay with that and quote unquote settle for that. You're sadly mistaken, girl.
She's like, I'll do the same thing you're doing, girl, but if he dies.
And to that point, you know, people tend to copy the stupidest ideas, don't they? Just saying.
I get everything, but I don't want to be married. And she's already been married. Divorced. She's divorced. Be safe, man. Be safe.
Legally, like on paper, I'm probably not ever on paper getting married again, but I definitely want to have like a nice wedding, a small wedding, and then like a big reception, and we just turn up, and then that's my.
I just
You see that? See, if it ain't about a vibe, if it ain't about energy, if it ain't about the experience, then you just want to turn up and get lit. See, oh my God. See, that's this new wave of thinking. You know, it's all about having fun. It's all about getting turned up and being lit. And you see the look on her face, the one in the white shirt, like, oh my God.
I don't want the courts to be involved.
You already had it, ma'am. Stop dreaming about a wedding.
And the courts are going to be involved because you cannot do this without the courts in one aspect or another. Like, why are you trying to block that out? Like, what's the reasoning behind that? Sheesh.
And now focus on how you can have a successful marriage, guys. You got to let these chicks talk. If you're a man who's not having conversations out here and hopping into relationships and letting your heart make the decisions for you, your emotions, snap out of it. Snap out of it, bro. Talk to her. Talk to these chicks. Don't be the guy who she married and now is divorcing or has already divorced or whatever. Let's keep it.
And like I said before, my daddy always told me, he told me when I was going through my issues with my ex-wife, which, you know, went from a separation to a divorce. He always told me, you know, son, communication is key. And I believe that, you know, that is essential in any relationship, marriage. I mean, if we had a top 5 list, it will probably be number 1 or number 2. You know, most people would probably say trust is first and then communication is second. But in most cases, trust and communication battle for that number 1 spot. But I mean, communication is essential, man. It really is essential. Let's keep it going.
We don't have to go to the court and make it legal. Like, we married.
Look, you cannot go about it that way. Because, okay, for example, if you're filling out a job application, right, chances are they're going to ask you your marital status. You cannot put married on there if you're not legally married. Okay. Now, I don't know if there's any legal action or whatever the case may be. If somebody puts their married when they're not, I don't know about that. Maybe y'all can let me know in the comments. But you just can't say that you're married just because you say you married. It has to be done by the traditional ways that people have gotten married for decades now. Nothing has changed because you feel like this on a given morning that you woke up feeling this way, or you woke up on a day where it was raining outside, so you just decided, okay, it's dreary outside, so this day I feel like I'm going to be a wife. You can't turn it off and on like that. And I think that's what she's saying without saying it. And it makes no sense to me. I know I'm not looking at this too much. I'm going by what she's saying here. And it's so mind-boggling, incredibly mind-boggling. You know, you can't just, you know, I'm a wife because I say so. I'm a husband because I say so. It doesn't work that way. It has to be acknowledged by the regular channels. Without it, you're not married.
Realize there are a lot of benefits that come with it being made legal, though.
Like,
such as
tax breaks,
taxes, insurances,
I don't know.
like insurance for your business, different things for your children, things like that. I really do get your point, though. I want to have a huge wedding. I want to have a ball at a wedding. And half of marriages do end in divorce. So
yeah.
If half,
especially these days,
seriously, 50% of marriages end in divorce. So if you do get married and now you've made this commitment that you're with that person, then it does become a messy situation through the courts. So if you never go through the courts,
right,
then you don't have.
And I just feel like I feel like, yes, marriage is definitely supposed to be a long-term thing, but you also can't fault people for like changing and growing and evolving, because I'm not gonna be the same person 30 years from now. Like, absolutely not. I'd be telling myself all the time, like, I'm gonna be a different person in 2
You'll be
weeks.
old.
She be
Okay. Let me address that too. Okay, yes. In general, as humans, as adults, we are going to make changes along the way. We are going to grow as people, and the object is to get better with age, not get worse with age. Okay. So I get that, but at the same time, if we're talking about relationships, if we're talking about relationships that lead to marriage, okay, the thinking should not be that, okay, I've changed, therefore I have to separate myself from this situation, even if that means separating myself from my partner, because I'm going through this mental thing where I'm feeling this, and it goes back to feelings. I'm feeling this way, so I need to do something, or something is going to snap, for the lack of a better way to explain it. So what I'm saying is that people do change, but does that mean you have to throw everything away because you're changing? Is ways to deal with that, and if you're getting into a lifetime commitment with somebody, yes, people are going to change. But if you're along for the ride, don't you think you want to make that into a positive thing, as opposed to looking at it as if to say, well, I'm going to change in a few years, and even though I may not be the same person, that if this just happens to lead to a breakup or divorce, it's just going to lead to that. It shouldn't be that line of thinking. It really shouldn't be. Yes, we all change, but we don't have to upend some that we've been building for years just because you feel that you're changing and you have to take this step or else. And I'll say this too, now there was one point when I was asked, okay, I think I was having a conversation with someone, probably a woman at the time, and I recall being asked, because I was asked what my preference was. At one point I did prefer older women, but then after a while, I thought to myself, okay, I don't want to just limit it to just that. So if I do meet someone that's, younger than me, not that much, I'll give it a try. And as luck would have it, well, not luck, but as my circumstances and everything that came along with it had it, my lady is a year younger than me. And I appreciate that. No problems with that at all. So my thing is that, what's the best way to put this? I've often said that I wouldn't deal with somebody too younger than me because of the age gap. Like, okay, I'm 39, and as y'all know, I turned 40 on June 25th. I'm 39. I don't want to deal with someone that's definitely not going to deal with someone that's under 25. No way. But still in their 20s, and the reason that I said that is because I'm not saying that women in that age range are not mature. I'm not saying that, but I've always looked ahead and I'm thinking, okay, if she's in her 20s and I'm pushing 40, she may or may not come to a point where, if we're in a long-term relationship, she's going to make the determination, we've been doing this for such a long time, and it's been good, it's been well, but I put all this time into it. I've never been able to experience what it was like not living with somebody. I've never been able to experience what it was like being single. I just never had the chance to experience that, and then we get into the whole thing. I need to find myself. I need to find my purpose. I've been doing everything for everybody else, but not doing much for myself, and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure y'all have heard it. See, that's what I don't want. I wouldn't want to be with someone young like that. And then once they're approaching 30 or they hit 30, they feel like, okay, I didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance to experience life. And now that I hit this age, I want to experience this. So even if I have to end what we're doing to experience that, I'm going to do it. And with most women, especially Black women, you're not going to change their minds, especially when it's already made up. You're just not going to do it. Now, let me know what you think about that. You may see it different, but I just wanted to put that out there.
telling her ninjas all the time that she won't be the same person. Just two honest women here letting you know that you should avoid them at all costs. Listen, as somebody who understands where that young lady's mindset might be, I don't know this for sure, right? I've said plenty of times, facetiously, before I got married, you guys have kind of seen me go from in a relationship, single, engaged, and now married. I've said, like, guys, I don't know if I'm going to go to Africa and have the elders bless me, or I'm still figuring it out, right? Now that I have more knowledge and am a practitioner in this area, you can argue all you want in the comment section down below. Do you? But I'm just going to always serve you the coffee. When you understand that laws that pertain to family court and marriages are laws that can be changed very easily, you truly realize how fragile this whole system really is and how much of a risk marriage is. And it is a risk, just like any other thing where you're investing a large amount of effort in. Now, when it's good, just like I've seen in my own upbringing with my two parents who've been married for 30 plus years, it was a wonderful thing. I grew up in a wonderful home. Both of my parents are still married to this day. But when it comes to the decision of whether you're going to get married legally, sign a prenup, all these different ways people want to approach this thing, a lot of people forget that common law is a reality in a lot of states. From what I remember, there is no common law in the state of California. But, and this is where you have to sort of understand the gravity of the situation here, it doesn't mean that the law can't change. A clear example of this is one of my most popular videos that I did was the decision that the courts had in, I believe it was Minnesota. I'm going to make sure here and confirm here in a little bit where they, oh no, my bad. Here it was in Florida. Florida decided to get rid of lifelong alimony. What's my point? My point is things can change. Things can change. But the chances of that document, that prenup you signed together, changing are very, 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 very unlikely when you take the proper steps to draft that prenup. And when you hear people talk about prenups that don't work, like for example, Jeezy's prenup, where he had like some cheating clause in there of not being able to open up emotionally to anybody else other than his wife. Like there's this just crazy stuff that a lawyer would tell you not to do. When you don't consult a proper attorney, then yes, you can leave yourself vulnerable to mistakes. You're drafting your own prenups, putting in cheating clauses and all types of stuff. Things can get really messy, right? But the bottom line here is you're better off protecting yourself with a prenup. And I'll always stand by this because even if you're in a state like California and common law may not be a thing, doesn't mean that can change in time, right? Let's keep listening.
That's a fact.
So
It's a fact.
So I just feel like the on paper shit just makes it really, that's just more so for the government to track than anything. That has nothing to do with like our love for each other.
No, it does. It is for the government.
It's for the government, but it's also for record keeping purposes, as well as with this being a legal proceeding or something like that. They want to have a record of this. So I don't think it's any other nefarious purposes for that. And why try to make it into something that it's not? I mean, let's get real here.
To track, but it does come with benefits and added perks and stuff too.
But
if you do get divorced, which going into
Love
a wedding, you shouldn't think, oh, we're gonna get divorced.
Right.
But if you're being realistic, a lot of them do end up divorce. It makes it trickier on the end. But you didn't answer the question. So if you do get married and you sign all the paperwork, would you be willing to agree to a prenup? So you marrying a billionaire?
No.
Okay.
I'm not signing a prenup because if you want to get married, because usually that's the man's job to propose. Like
it is.
So you know what you're signing up for.
Not all the time.
You know what's gonna come with it or whatever the case may be. So I'd feel like I shouldn't have to sign one. No.
Girl, stay single.
I say self-made versus relationship made. Like if it's self-made, like prior to him meeting you, then shit. Yeah, prenup is in place.
If I come into the marriage with $1 million and you come in with $10,000, you're gonna have to sign a prenup. I'm sorry.
We're just won't get married.
I'm not really thinking prenup because I feel like I'm a definitely an in the moment type of person, and like 9 times out of 10, I really don't. If I get to the point where I'm saying I'm marrying you, like
in the moment type of person, run.
fuck, if you want to say that your money before us is your money before us, but a post nup.
The thing about prenups is it's a misconception too. So it's not like if you sign a prenup, it doesn't necessarily state that you aren't getting any money after it. They're different things to the prenup.
A lot of people put cheating clause, like if he cheats, I get X amount of his money.
There's clauses in there.
Don't do that. Seek legal advice.
Oh my God.
Cheating clauses. Here's the problem with the whole Gigi case is how do you determine what's cheating and who determines what's cheating?
Right.
Keep listening.
Depends.
I can protect the money I had going in, but now you might get 50% of what I make after this or something like that. There's different clauses you can put into it. But there are a lot of women out there who they'll play the entire game because they know you have money. You get married, and 2 years later, suddenly you're not the right man.
Right.
So
and then they're used to that lifestyle, so they have to. You have to pay to keep her in that lifestyle.
That shit is sick to me. That is sick to me.
It is sick.
But that's like
it's a game, though.
I don't know.
It's not for women; it's for dudes too. Because Oprah dude
took her money. Mary J. Blige.
J. Blige.
See, that's what.
Yeah, men can play that game too. Yes.
I was about to say, like, since like I'm finna be like in real estate, I feel like
I'll take your house.
If I am making like, let's say 100,000 a year, starting off or whatever the case may be, and I meet a man that's not making that much money, then like I would expect.
Oh, so now he got to sign the shit, but
because like I don't know. That's why I just say it just depends. I don't know. Or vice versa.
That's so hypocritical.
No, that's why I said vice versa. Like, if he's making more and I'm not, then I guess it just depends on the situation.
But, I mean, obviously, as a man, I would sign a prenup, but
stay single.
I would negotiate it with them because I don't.
If we're
it is scary
married,
because you don't want to. You're basically planning for your divorce.
Okay. Let's check out some of these comments and see what the people have to say. First comment here says, "Damn, I literally said this and thought maybe I was the only one." This is a woman talking here. Marriage on the legal aspect is a business. I'd rather be married spiritually than legally for a few reasons, she said.
And in my opinion, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, but I'm thinking that there has to be some level of policies and procedures in place when it comes to marriage. And I'm glad that it is the way that it is, because if you do it any other way that's not traditional, it kind of defeats the purpose of what marriage is supposed to be, because you don't want everybody running around and walking around saying, I'm married, but in actuality you're not. You're married based on how you're feeling, but on paper you're not. You just can't wake up one day and say, oh, I'm a husband, or I'm a wife. It doesn't work that way.
Somebody else who says she wants to look married but not be married. Yeah. I mean, this is a perfect example of a bunch of chicks out here who just want the wedding and to look pretty. Somebody else who says, so that means she's paying for the wedding by herself. Excellent. Somebody else who says, so she want to play dress up. Here's another person who added, baby, you got to grow. Here's somebody else who says, wants to be a bride and never a wife. Followed by another comment that says she needs to stay single. If you're going into a marriage thinking about divorce, then you failed already.
Okay, now I think Jesus Zed is going to disagree with that, but I agree with this comment. She needs to stay single. Yes, if you're going into a marriage thinking about divorce, you failed already, and that goes back to what I said at the beginning of the video. If you're going into it already thinking about that, you're doomed for failure. And like I said, divorce. I mean, yes, brothers, we don't like divorce. I think on the low, that's probably a term that scares us more than anything else. I've been through a divorce. Granted, mine was not chaotic and messy like it could have been. So I was spared. All right, but men in general, brothers, we don't like that word. We don't even like it when we referring to other stuff or reading other stuff. And when it applies to us, yeah, that's a little, it terrifies us, okay? And as men, we don't like to say that we're scared of too much, but when it comes to divorce and everything that results from that, yeah, it's a terrifying thing. But the point that I'm making is that when it comes to a divorce, the understanding should be we're in this, for a lifetime. We understand things happen, but at the same time, divorce should be an absolute last thing. That's if we have nothing left, and I mean nothing left. If it's nothing that can be done, and we've tried any and everything throughout this entire time, we put in the work, the time, the effort, the sweat and tears, no blood, the sweat and tears and everything that comes along with that, as well as raising kids, making sure they're straight, everything that comes along with it. If we've done every single thing we could possibly do, and divorce is the only option here, because you don't want to be with somebody that's miserable. You don't want to be with somebody and they feel like they have to be with you out of obligation. You definitely don't want to make somebody try to love you, because as my mom said, you can't make somebody love you, especially when it comes to, a man making a woman love him, or even vice versa. You just can't do that. So like I said, I'm on the side of, if you with each other and you understand the commitment that you made, fine. We understand they're going to be trials and tribulations and all of that, but we can do this together. And like I said, once again, if you exhausted every absolute avenue that you possibly could to make it work and it just didn't, then yes, divorce is the only option here. And I'm not talking about legally separated and all that, even though in some cases it may have to come to that. But when it comes to divorce, that should be an absolute last option. There's nothing left
Ready. Now, no, that is not true. This right here is a misconception that has kept a lot of people from having very difficult discussions. You need to have discussions. You need to have discussions of what if, because people do change. Things do happen. And if you're not able to have discussions of what if this doesn't work out, then that's probably not the person for you, because you're going to have a lot more challenging discussions than that.
And I see the points that he's making, but at the same time, I'm still of the mindset that you don't come into a marriage thinking about that. That should not be one of the very first conversations that you have. You definitely don't want to have that discussion when you're building up to the marriage. So, no, men in general, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not going into such a lifetime commitment thinking about divorce, because usually from the man's standpoint, we looking at it from a lifetime aspect. Now everybody is different. I think in this case, no two people, well, in some cases, I probably will make an exception and say some two people may think the same here. But again, where I'm coming from is that divorce should be the absolute last option. That is, if nothing left. Look, if there's anything that you take from this video, aside from the content that you saw with the ladies on the panel and that man from Jesus and my thoughts, if there's anything I want you to take from this video, is that when it comes to a marriage, it's a lifetime commitment between two people who want to build and continue to build, right? Furthermore, divorce should not be the very first option when there's a disagreement. Divorce should not be the very first option when there's a big argument. Divorce should not be on the table every time you butt heads. That word should not even be brought up when two people are continuing to build and doing things, the best way they know how, individually and collectively. But I'm going to say it one more time, probably another time before the end of this video. When it comes to two committed people in a marriage, it should always come down to doing whatever it takes for this lifetime. And if you stumble on some roadblocks or have trials and tribulations, whatever the case may be, and you've done every single thing, when there's nothing else, then that's when you bring divorce in. Plain and simple.
When you finally do marry that person. Somebody else here says she wants a party, basically. Here's another comment that says she just wants the party, and the Instagram pics have no idea about vows or what they mean. This is very common these days. Our final comment here says, finally, a woman actually admitted it. They want weddings. They don't want to be wives. Listen, as was Krishna.
All right, so again, big shout out to She's a Zed and his video. And again, subscribe to him if you haven't done so already. It was another video, very good video in a series of them. But yes, like I said, man, I think I done said everything that I need to say. You know, some of those comments were on point, but I mean, you see them ladies there. You know, they out there saying this and making it public. And I say again, you know, men, we're visual creatures. In this case, we're e-visual. That means we be online, you know, whether it's desktop, laptop, on our phones, whatever the case may be, we're seeing this. And whether the ladies know or not, you know, game recognized game. We wrote the book here. So no self-respecting man is going to even come close to wifing these women up. And I've said this before, every woman is not wifing material. And dare I say, every man is not husband material. But these two ladies here that was on this video, no, I don't see any self-respecting man of any kind, of any race or any background, color, creed, religion, putting a ring on any of their fingers, especially after the things that they said. And they weren't playing, because again, everything is a damn joke, right? But no, they was damn serious. It wasn't no slip of the lip from them sisters. They knew exactly what they were saying, and they're going to be treated as such. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if within 6 months to a year's time they don't get the results that they're looking for. Then where all the good men at? There's a shortage of good men out there, and all this other stuff. We've heard it. We've heard it thousands and thousands of times, and we're probably going to continue to keep hearing it. So the more of this story is man, I still believe in the sanctity of marriage. I've been through a divorce. I want to get married again. This time I want to do it the traditional way. I want family and friends there. I'm not going to the justice of peace. I want that. And also I want a marriage like, just to use as an example, my dad in 2028, him and his wife, Cynthia, that'll mark 30 years for them. And I think they've been together longer because they were together for a while before they got married. So that's the type of marriage I want right there. Cynthia stuck with my dad through thick and thin, so man, I mean, I want a marriage like that. Damn straight. I really do, and like I said, when it comes to this, I don't want us, our community specifically, to lose sight of what being married means and what a marriage is supposed to be. And I just hope that as the days and months and weeks and years go by, that we don't lose sight of that. I don't want our culture to become one where divorce is celebrated, but marriage is frowned upon. Just think about how backwards that is. The celebration of divorce and the frowning upon of marriage, or the frowning on marriage. It shouldn't be like that. That's completely backwards, So I say all that to say that we got to continue to do better. I don't want these talking points to become something that, most Black women identify with, because, you want to be married in spirit, or you want to be, you don't want to be married. You just want the big wedding. So what the, yo, man, oh man, bless their hearts though. Bless their hearts. So with all that being said, John, man, if you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think of my thoughts, and let me know what you think about marriage in general. Whether you're currently married, whether you plan to get married or not. Let me know what you think. I think this will be an interesting discussion across the board. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves. And remember, communication is key. When you're in a long-term commitment with someone, especially a marriage, when there's nothing left, when everything has been exhausted, so to speak, that's when divorce should be an option. Divorce should not be brought up on a single whim based on how somebody is feeling or anything to that effect. That should be an absolute last resort across the board. And I think a lot of people need to hear that. And last but not least, y'all, the power of the mind is valuable.